Hi! Welcome to Inference. In this video, I will be talking about the prospect of terraforming Mars. Terraforming is the hypothetical process of deliberately modifying the atmosphere, temperature, surface topography, or ecology of a planet or moon to make it habitable for humans. It is a hypothetical concept that has primarily been discussed in the context of the colonization of Mars. There are several proposed methods for terraforming Mars, including increasing the atmospheric pressure and temperature through the release of greenhouse gases, creating a planetary magnetic field to help protect the atmosphere from the solar wind, melting the polar ice caps creates liquid water, transporting large amounts of soil and water to the planet to create a more Earth-like environment. It is still a topic of research and debates whether terraforming is scientifically possible and ethical. While some scientists and engineers have proposed methods for making it happen, many experts say it would require a vast amount of resources, time, and technological advancements that may not be achievable. Additionally, terraforming would be very costly, and it is hard to say whether the benefits of terraforming another planet would justify the cost. Many scientists and ethicists think that instead of altering other celestial bodies, it is better to invest in developing and improving the technologies for space exploration and the conservation and sustainability of the Earth. Terraforming is a concept that has been discussed for decades, but there are still many unknowns about whether it is scientifically possible and ethical. One of the biggest challenges of terraforming Mars is that the planet has a very thin atmosphere, which would not be able to support human life without significant modification. Scientists have proposed several methods for increasing the atmospheric pressure and temperature, such as releasing greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and water vapor, but these methods would require vast amounts of resources and energy. Additionally, a planetary magnetic field would also be needed to protect the atmosphere from the solar wind, which would be a difficult and costly endeavor. Another issue that would need to be addressed is the lack of liquid water on Mars. Melting the polar ice caps could provide a potential source of water, but this would also require a significant amount of energy. Transporting large amounts of water and soil from Earth to Mars would also be a formidable challenge. Even if these obstacles were overcome, it is uncertain whether plants and other forms of life would be able to take root on Mars. The planet's soil may not contain the nutrients necessary for plants to grow, and the harsh radiation environment would also be a significant barrier. Given the complexity and cost of terraforming another planet, many scientists and ethicists argue that it would be more practical and responsible to focus on developing technologies for long-term space exploration and the preservation of Earth's ecosystems. Additionally, there is the ethical question of whether it is right to alter another celestial body in a way that could permanently change its environment, and possibly wipe out any pre-existing life forms. As well as the question of whether it is right to use all of the resources that would be necessary to terraform another planet when there are still so many issues on Earth that need to be addressed. Overall, while terraforming remains an interesting concept for scientific exploration and imagination, its actual feasibility of it is still in question and should be further evaluated in terms of science, engineering, and ethics. It's important to remember that terraforming is still just a hypothetical concept, and it's not even clear if it's scientifically possible or if we even have the technology to pull it off. But let's say we did have the means to turn Mars into a habitable planet for humans. It would probably involve a lot of heavy lifting, like transporting millions of tons of soil and water from Earth. Not to mention, we would also have to turn up the heat on Mars by cranking up the greenhouse gases, so it's kind of like making a giant hot tub in space. But unlike a hot tub, it would take a lot more than just adding some bubbles. It would be a massive and expensive undertaking. Also, don't forget that we would need to create a planetary magnetic field to protect the new atmosphere from the solar winds, which is basically like trying to build a giant invisible force field around the planet. Even if we were able to turn Mars into a habitable planet, it's not clear if it would be worth it. After all, why settle for a second-rate planet when we could just fix up the one we already have? Terraforming is like trying to make a giant space oasis out of a desert, but instead of palm trees, you need to bring everything from Earth and make sure to build a giant invisible shield around it. It's a tough job, but someone's gotta do it, just maybe not us. In conclusion, terraforming is a concept that has been discussed for decades, but it is still uncertain whether it is scientifically possible or ethical. The idea of deliberately modifying the atmosphere, temperature, surface topography, or ecology of a planet or moon to make it habitable for humans is still a topic of research and debate. Many obstacles would need to be overcome, such as the thin atmosphere and lack of liquid water on Mars. Additionally, terraforming would be very costly, and it is hard to say whether the benefits of terraforming another planet would justify the cost. Many scientists and ethicists argue that instead of altering other celestial bodies, it is better to invest in developing and improving the technologies for space exploration and the conservation and sustainability of Earth. Terraforming is a fascinating concept to explore, but it raises important questions about our relationship with other celestial bodies and the future of human civilization in space. Alright, folks, that are it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new about the prospect of terraforming Mars. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Have a good one. Goodbye.